You do? All right. Thank you, Council. We are now back in open after being in closed. The rise and report is that Renfrew Town Council received information in regards to vendor qualification as it pertains to an identifiable individual related to a potential vendor. So that's what we have to do to report on that. Now moving on to D.1, the dehumidifier for Deloria Ice Pad. The Renfrew Town Council approved the replacement of the dehumidifier for the Deloria Ice Pad. Mover, please. Councilor McDonald, seconded by Councilor Legree. All in favor? Thank you.
Oh, wait,
no, sorry, no. I'm going to turn it over to Director Latondras first.
that's right. We're not doing.
Yeah.
Thank you, through you, Mayor Sydney. The way the older portion of the arena was constructed, so the Deloria pad, two dehumidifiers are required in that pad, one at the front, there's one at the front, one at the back. And the air movement created by these helps stop the steel beams from sweating. When the beam sweat, it ends up kind of raining inside the arena and becomes a health and safety issue. Two working units limit it and ensure the glass doesn't fog up as well and obscure view. So during the winter months, the dehumidifiers are obviously not required to run as high. But opening the Deloria pad earlier and possibly during some of the warmer times of the year means that both of them will kind of need to be running at 100%. There will still be minimal sweating, but staff will be able to easily control it. And then just the company that we're suggesting, Simcoe, has been responsible for the plant room and dehumidification of the arena since about 1988. And when the second pad was put in, Simcoe also did all of the work on that pad as well. So due to required work needing to be completed on the Sun Life financial walking track, it has been requested that the Deloria pad open first at the end of July rather than at the end of August. So during the recent annual inspection of the dehumidifiers in the ice plant, the technician noted the deterioration of the unit at the front of the pad. We have since, and I will apologize for this, we have since tried to follow up between calling this meeting and today, and have been able to garner more information. That being that the fuses keep blowing in the actual unit. So there is a very small hope that it may be a power issue at the connection for the dehumidifier. If that's the case, we will hopefully not have to replace the unit this year. At this point, nobody can tell us why those fuses are blowing. And it has been happening. We've heard for, I believe, 3 years, we've been replacing the main fuse in that dehumidifier. So what I'm asking today is that basically, if we find out that that power source is not the issue and it is indeed the dehumidifier, due to the limited amount of these units in the province, I would need approval from council to be able to order one of those units as soon as possible. Again, hoping that if it is a power source, electrical unit issue, then we can get that fixed and we'll not have to replace it. But if it is the dehumidifier issue, we would need to be able to do that immediately in order to have that pad ready to go for July 25th. We have been in contact with Simcoe, who did tell us that there is, I believe they had at the time 2 available still. The other ones have been spoken for. Part of the issue, to our understanding, is also that the platform that holds the dehumidifier, if another company is sourced in, they may not wish to work on that platform because they actually have to be put up on the scissor lift, and not all the other companies are comfortable with that. And I would like to ask Specialist Eckford if he has anything he would like to add to this conversation, just to make sure that I haven't missed any important information.
Most things, as mentioned, are exactly correct. The existing unit is causing issues and essentially could kind of fail at any time. We are hoping to repair it, but could go at any time. If it were to go, it would be kind of this clock would start ticking on a replacement. So as Kelly mentioned, we are kind of looking for approval to have a plan or a backup plan in place to replace that as quickly as possible. The units are somewhat scarce across the province and would require some lead time for installation, obviously, as well.
Thank you. Any questions from council? Councillor McDonald?
Thank you, Mayor. It's for you. Whether it goes to Sean or Kelly, I'm not quite sure. But first question is, what is the life expectancy of these units, and are they both originals? And if they are, do we have any plans? I'm sure we've exceeded it or met the life expectancy of them. But what are the plans moving forward after we deal with this initial situation?
Kelly, you want to take that?
Yes, thank you, through you, Chair. Sean can jump in if I go off track here, but my understanding is that there has been one unit replaced in 35 years. So they've definitely done well. That being said, we are looking forward for this year's budget of trying to figure out how we look at the big pieces of equipment we have and start to plan for that, because unless I'm mistaken, there was actually no, we have things identified, but I don't believe they were ever planned for financially. They're in a report somewhere, but that was as far as it ever went, and it was never taken further than that. So that's definitely something, working with the treasurer, that we need to start accounting for.
Good, Councillor McDonald? Revimo?
Thank you. Just looking at their quote, and if you go to page 3 and look at item number 3, liability. The vendor shall not be liable for any issue, losses, injuries, expenses, or damages, whether direct, indirect, special, incidental, consequential, or punitive, arising out of the goods or the installation, operation, or failure of operation of the goods or related systems, even if caused by the vendor's negligence. So I'm a little concerned about that. And then I take a little run down to the next page and I see the warranty. It's essentially only 90 days for this, unless there's a manufacturer warranty, but they don't mention that. So it says this warranty is in lieu of all other warranties, statutory or otherwise. So it sounds like it doesn't matter if the unit itself has a warranty, that this warranty supersedes that. So I'm a little concerned about those two clauses. I think, I think they're a little generous to the company. And number 6, cost escalation, really a nice bit of language in there. And again, they don't seem to take any responsibility. So, that's something we may want to just ask about. If there's the warranty with the unit from the manufacturer, what is it? And then stroke out this that line in item number 6, I guess it is, where it talks about their warranty superseding whatever else is in there. So those are the 2 things that I agree we need to go forward. But those 2 things worry me a little bit. They don't seem to have any responsibility for anything. They can hang it from chains on the ceiling, the same chains I hang a flower pot and bugger off. And if it falls down, oh, well, that's the way it goes. So, and I don't doubt their abilities. I just think that this is, what a beautiful document this is, would alleviate them from any responsibility for bad workmanship, whatever. Anything that occurs to push the job outwards a little bit, and then secondly a warrant, and then thirdly a warranty. So those are my observations. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comment from Sean or Dr. Saunders on that? Or is it something you'll look into?
So I'd say thank you. Definitely missed that, so I appreciate that, and we will definitely go back and review that and talk to the company or other resources that we need to look at.
Perfect. Councillor Andrew Dick.
Thank you, and through you, Mayor. So yeah, I was going to touch base what Councillor McDonald said. Sadly that building's getting old. Some of the equipment is starting to go. So I'm glad that there's a plan in place to look forward to the future and maybe start sneaking some money away to replace things that are going to come up. The next comment I have, and I think this is important. So kind of a 2-part question. One, it's if we get the new unit in, is the power, are we going to have the same problems? But then I'm going to go back and we're going to get a company to come in and look at the power source. So my concern is if the power company or the electricians say, oh yeah, it's the power, we can fix it, it's going to be 30,000. Wouldn't we be better just to buy a new unit and get the power fixed at the same time? I don't know. I'm not a mechanical engineer and all that. I just don't want to see us put 20,000 into something and then a year later it breaks and we got to come back and we got to put a new unit in. So let's just try and kill this bird with one stone right off the hop, get it fixed. I saw Councillor Sobalski put his hand up, so hopefully he can touch base on this and give us some advice on this part. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Dick, and through you, Mayor. Just to the question, if the power turns out to be the issue, then the power is the issue. And therefore, don't fix what isn't broken. Now, that said, gives us an opportunity to plan a little bit better, gives us an opportunity to save a few dollars for these units, because if the power fixes the problem, the units are operating at whatever capacity that's sufficient, we must let them do that, but have a backup plan in place. And if that's maybe buying one unit to have available to us, or at least getting our name on it, so a quick turnover is an option, that's something that we should look at. But power's the issue, fix the power. If the unit's the issue, fix the unit.
Any other questions from council? Hearing and seeing none. So I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's unanimous. Thank you, council. Moving on to E, upcoming meetings of council. Committee of the Whole, August 6th at 10 a.m. Regular council meeting, August 13th at 6 p.m. And we have a special council meeting next Wednesday, I believe, at 11, I think.
We haven't, just sorry through you, Mayor Cindy, we haven't officially called that just as of the moment.
Okay.
But it will be provided 48 hours in advance if that special meeting is required.
Excellent. All right. So with that, we are adjourned at 1:57. Thank you, council and staff. Appreciate your time.